Hello, everybody. Can I have your attention, please? Welcome to the June 12th Town Board meeting. Colleen?
The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you. I'd like to start the meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. A moment of silence for all our brave men and women fighting all over the world for democracy and freedom, especially those in harm's way, and also for our men and women in blue. Thank you. I'd like to make an amendment to the agenda to add Emily Beck for the appointment of summer camp. Also to add resolution number 71 for the seeker, and that seeker is for the $250,000 Frank Scartato's member items for sidewalks in Marlborough. So I need a motion.
Make a motion to amend the agenda as stated.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Motion to approve minutes from the May 22nd, 2017 Town Board meeting. I need a motion.
I'll motion.
Second? Somebody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved. Authorized payment of bills in the amount of $534,000.82.
Al, I just have a couple of questions. I know I think I know, but the Lowe's air conditioning, was that for the transfer station?
The air conditioner was for the room that we're renting to that just went bad. That's the one that the
old
Cornell.
Okay. And then all these planning board legal services, are these the ones that get reimbursed, or these are costs?
They're escrow.
These are escrow? I got another one. So the all the BHAM planning, that adds up to $12,750. Is this part of the grant money, or is this the money that we have our planning for this year?
Does it say LWR?
It just says research contract, and it just has a couple different things for the Planning Association
Yeah,
and
that's for the LWRP.
Waterfront Parks.
Yep.
Waterfront Parks.
That was for the LWRP.
So that came out of where though?
We're paying it now, and then we're waiting?
Yeah. We do a budget request. We send it to DOS, and then they reimburse us. I just sent in a request too because we just finished with the planning down at the landing, which was held over for 10% of the $500,000, which was $50,000. It added up actually to be $52,000. With that, we got the BHAM study, the master plan. We also got a rendering, and we also now have a detailed survey from Maser & Maser about where everything is, especially concerning CSX.
So basically, this $12,750, we're paying it out, and we don't know when we're gonna get reimbursed for it.
It comes pretty much.
But right now, we don't really know when we're getting
Yeah,
reimbursed.
yeah.
I mean, the planner with the money we've been spending with them couldn't wait for us to get reimbursed.
This is like the 7th one.
Okay.
So we've been reimbursed for 6.
I had 2 master plans that they did for us. One the first 2 years I was on the board with you, and now this is the second one we're doing again?
No, this is
Just continuation?
This is a This is due to the LWRP,
Okay.
which is the $135,000.
No, there was a master plan done the first 2 years I was in office.
The master plan was covered by the Greenway grant.
I understand what you're saying, but we did it once before with BN too.
Well, you have to update it occasionally, you know,
Yeah,
that it was a
comprehensive
long time ago.
update, it's an update to the comprehensive.
And this
We
is
did
it right
that
here?
10 years ago. Yeah, we're gonna have Allison's gonna do a short, brief, presentation.
And, sorry.
That's okay.
The other one is the T&B engineering, right? But that's 7,500, the leftover?
No, that's the one that we're, for the estuary grant, which is a $40,000 grant. And that, so that just came in, that's what we're gonna pay, and we get reimbursed from the estuary.
And I see Gail got his truck, right, Gail?
Gail did get his truck.
Came in good? So that's the biggest expense. All right. I would just want to make sure.
There's two big expenses on the bud thing tonight. It's the bond, there's a bond, and then there's Gail's truck, which he took out of his, fund balance.
All right. I just wanted to see. Thanks, sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
Thank you.
You can sign it now.
You know, it's public knowledge, anybody could come in and look at the vouchers, look at what we're spending. It's all, taxpayers' money, so just come in and ask, and we'll do whatever you need to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We need a motion
I would make that motion.
and a
So
second.
I will
Second.
make the motion.
You can second it.
Okay.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved.
We skipped, you skipped over item 4. I need a motion for minutes.
Excuse me?
You skipped over item 4. I need a motion for the minutes.
I will make that motion.
We did do that. Reapprove, all right, motion to approve minutes from the May 22nd, 2017 Town Board meeting.
I'll motion. I'll second it.
So moved. Authorized payment of bills, we're good.
We're good.
$534,082. Comments on the agenda? None? So let's move to presentations. Frank, you want to come up? So, sit down right there, any place.
Microphone.
So, we established this overlay zone, and it's our code now, to create businesses along the 9W corridor. And what it is, it's a process to get in that zone. And first, Frank, or anybody who wants to apply for that overlay zone, has to come to the building inspector. There's a whole bunch of forms that they fill out. And then Tom tells us yay and nay. And so it happens that Tom said yay, that you filled out everything and properly done. So now it's up to the board to decide, hey, is this a good thing? Not a bad thing. I personally think it's a great thing. So it's, and then it goes to the planning board. So, Frank, what I did was I put it up on the screen so everybody could see exactly what we're talking about. And if you could give us just an overview look at it, where it is, you know, and set the stage for that.
Well, the property is located in Milton at 1613 Route 9W. It's an existing piece of property that was owned by
Frank, use the mic.
by,
Is it on?
Mr. Eckert.
Pull the mic out.
Oh.
And you-
It's an existing piece of property that was owned by the Eckert family that I purchased. I currently have a business. We've been in business since May of 1995. It's located on Washington Street in the city of Poughkeepsie. I live in Milton. I've lived in Milton for 12 years. So we decided to move our business. I found the piece of property. At the moment, most of what is existing there is what we would like to utilize. There is a proposed building on the rear piece of property that I would eventually, you know, our 5-year plan, God willing, to build a building. Other than that, we really just want to upgrade, clean up the property, clean up the buildings, and make my offices and warehouse space there.
Thank you, Frank. The board have any questions?
Where would the building be that you might want to build, in the back?
The proposed building is, yes, to be placed in the back, which is on the plans.
Right behind the Eckerson building now that exists?
I think it shows it right there. Well, you want to point to it, Frank?
Yeah.
Please. You got to get one of those laser things.
This is the proposed where the new structure would go.
Okay.
The parcel is a very odd-shaped parcel. This is where the new building would be, in the back part of the property.
Okay.
Frank, what is your business?
We are an asbestos abatement contractor, demolition contractor. We do some general contracting work, and we do rehabilitation of concrete floors.
And the materials that you abate, what do you do with them?
Those all get direct shipped to landfills, by law.
So what you're using this for is for storage of your trucks and equipment and...
Trucks, equipment, and, material, that's all. Yeah, we don't even entertain, it's not gonna be a lot of even drive traffic. We don't entertain clients there. Mostly it's to house our office space and our materials and equipment that we use.
Do you have a similar facility in Poughkeepsie, or are you kind of moving everything
I
to...
would like to move everything from Poughkeepsie. I have a similar setup, not as much property. That's why I look to move. We also have a satellite office in Albany
And how long have you been doing this?
since May of '95.
Just curiosity, how many people do you employ?
In the summertime, 70.
70?
Definitely.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
This is exactly why we did this.
Right. So, the next procedure is I write a letter to the planning board, or they go directly to the planning board, Tom?
Letter reviewed to the planning board.
Okay.
Saying that the town board has reviewed it and has now passed it on to the planning board with approvals.
I mean, did you have any concerns, Tom?
I had no concerns at all. He spoke to me very early in the process. I talked to Mr. Bowe, I told him that was the reason we did lay the overlay district was for the Eckerson property being in the RAG1 district, but being in basically a highway development access area. So, been very cooperative, got us the maps. I have no concerns at all. There's really been zero impact there at this point. So, I'm 100% for
I
it.
think we're getting better at this.
Yeah, we are getting rid.
A little bit smoother, isn't it?
But now we're getting to our third one here, so it's getting better. And again, I think this is exactly what we intended this law to do, is to attract businesses along the corridor
Absolutely.
and commercial business for the town. So I think it's great. So
Yeah. And Frank's come to my office personally, and we've talked about the business, and he's been straightforward. And so I need a motion to move forward.
One more question. Is this your son or your brother?
This is my son, yes. His name is Nicholas.
That's Nick.
It looks just like you.
I'll make a motion that a letter be drafted to the planning board that the town board is in favor of the proposed site.
I'll second that motion. Yeah, I'll third it if it makes a difference. So,
Thank
All in favor?
welcome to Marlborough, guys.
Thank you.
Tim, do you have a question?
Sorry, I didn't know if it was appropriate for public comment. This is just north of Lions Lane, correct?
Correct.
Right.
So Tim, could you do me a favor? Would you just come up to the microphone?
To the microphone?
Yes, and just state your name for the record.
My name is Tim Lawton, and I live on Woodcrest Lane. So I'm curious about the traffic impact. Once the state reduced that two-lane road to a single lane going south, it's created a little difficulty in that section of the road. So is there a traffic impact, and if so, to what degree?
I personally don't believe there's a traffic impact. We do not, like I said earlier, we do not entertain any clients. It's not a store, it's not anything that's open to the public. Most of my projects are scattered, believe it or not, all over the tri-state. We've traveled actually as far as Florida, Texas, we've done work. A lot of our, when I say I have 70 employees, a lot of my employees also directly drive to the job sites. Half the time I don't even see my guys all summer.
So the equipment stored is not like tractor trailers?
No, no, I do have some heavy machinery, very limited to those. I currently store them all over, and actually what I try to do is take them from job to job, so that if they're not working, they're not making any money.
Thanks very much.
You understand, Tim, this is the procedure. They come to in front of us, we say, okay, now they have to go in front of the planning board, which is, they review everything. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
John Beham, Allison, thank you very much, Frank, appreciate it. Speak into the microphone, please. Allison, did you bring anything for the public?
I do have copies of those. I'm not, that should be enough. Yeah.
That's okay, we'll print them up and we'll put them on our...
Yes,
put 'em on the
and we'll
site
have
anyway,
them on the
the website.
website tomorrow.
A lot of stuff.
All right. Baskets around, I'm not sure inside if there's not enough. I think there should be. but, I am Allison Hargrave, a planner with BN Planning and Design. For maybe about the last year, we've been working with the town and the advisory committee on putting together a local waterfront revitalization and comprehensive plan update. Together with these two plans, we've also put together a harbor management plan, which is a state requirement of the local waterfront revitalization plan that I'm going to refer to as LWRP from here on out because that's a mouthful. And along with these plans, there are two enabling acts that I've provided for you gentlemen. They are the harbor management law and the consistency review law. Now, we have tried to kind of streamline these as much as possible to not add another layer of review. So let's see, the consistency law will kind of, as written, I want to clarify, it has to be reviewed by the state before this iteration can be approved, but it'll piggyback on your seeker review, so, and coordinates with seekers. So if it's an internal project, whoever declares lead agency, the town board or the planning board, will also do the consistency review, which attached on the last page of that law is a worksheet to fill out. We tried to keep it as minimal as possible. You'll also, upon review, see that there are certain requirements. For example, if you have to do an environmental assessment long form, we wouldn't require the waterfront consistency sheet to be filled out because a lot of that is covered in the long form, EAF. But to get back to the plans, I think many people have seen probably all of these sections, but not as one, and they are compiled at this point. We can provide you with those electronically tomorrow. It's very long, so as I mentioned to Al earlier, we can provide for printing if we need to figure that, if anyone would like that done. But both the comprehensive plan and the LWRP have goals and objectives that have been built upon the goals of prior plans and also through meeting with the advisory committee and having public meetings. So they focus on the Hudson River as an asset for the town, really economic revitalization of the Milton and Marlborough hamlets, which the town has been doing a wonderful job at promoting. Improvement of the 9W corridor, which is happening through the county project, I believe that's happening, that's going on right now. Celebrating and protecting the natural and cultural resources. We've learned from many public meetings and from the advisory committee that these are things that are really valued in the town, and included with that are the agricultural resources here. So that is, in and of itself, a separate goal of these plans. So, along with these plans, along with the goals and objectives, we've gone through reviews of resources the town has and identified issues and opportunities that can be built upon them. And there's specific projects highlighted in these plans, some of which have already received grants or are under review for grants. So that's a wonderful step. We're already making progress on these. And let's see. And when these plans are approved and adopted by the town, it does give the town kind of a good standing and more assistance from the state to receive these grants that will help implement the projects.
So basically, you're setting the stage up for next town board meeting where we'll have the EIS, and it's a full form. It's not the short form, it's the full form.
We right now have actually put this whole entire document has been created in conjunction. It's also a generic environmental impact statement. So the way we set it up, we have we've done that as, that first step as well. So-
Okay.
And basically, which reviews all of the potential impacts of implementing these plans, which there really are no foreseeable negative impacts of implementing the LWRP and comprehensive plan.
And then these are all requirements from the Department of State
Absolutely.
for the grant.
Yes. Yes, and we have been working with a representative from Department of State throughout the process.
Barbara Kendall.
Barbara Kendall, yes.
Just ask a question, important to me as far as I'm concerned. All these grants that we're going for, that we're supposedly going for, you guys, I saw that you programmed them down. Which ones are they matching grants or are they grants? I don't consider them matching grant a grant.
I'm not sure if they are matching grants. Unfortunately, it's my colleague is the,
Most of them require
grant.
Matching money.
they are, yes.
So,
The only,
Remember, I stated something the last time at the meeting. I love it. I think it was beautiful if we could do this, right? But at the same token, I think we need to shoot for things, smaller things that we know we can accomplish with less money. Because right now, people, it's just not, taxpayers don't have the money to spend that kind of matching money. I know you can do it with the work that you do.
Doing
you know, I-
kind service,
But you
doing a
gotta make
whole
sure
bunch
everything's
of stuff.
approved on certain things that are all different, because I've been here a while.
It's a lot of work as far as administrating them, and I think Rosemary Wine would. So I'm administrating like 4 or 5 different grants, make sure that as soon as I get the vouchers and the canceled checks, I send it to DOS or whatever, estuary fund or whatever, to make sure the money comes back and the taxpayer don't get a hit on it.
The other, yeah, but now,
so Allison, okay, go ahead.
go ahead,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I wanted just to, before we get into the grant stuff, so what we're getting in terms of deliverables is an updated master plan.
Yes,
And we have a pretty final draft of that.
yes, it will.
We're getting a LWRP report, which we have close to a final draft on that, right?
Yes,
This consistency review law is something that's required by the Department of State, right? It's kind of a boilerplate that you've created.
that is a
That's a
boilerplate. There has
okay.
been a few alterations, but that one in particular
Okay,
is,
so we have to answer some questions in the back of this, which you will help us with?
yes, there's a
Okay.
form in there.
And then there's-
That's actually, the form is to be completed for every project.
Okay.
That's-
And then there's this harbor management plan, which also is sort of boilerplate, right?
It is, however, the boilerplate one is intended for kind of a busier harbor.
Okay.
So this one is really a
This one's
simplified-
modified for
yes,
us. And,
yes.
and is there something we have to do with this? Is there something we have to, other than approve it and accept it, do we have to answer questions regarding it?
No questions. Actually, what this allows you to do is,
Okay.
it actually gives the town an opportunity to comment on
Yes.
any projects that are proposed by the state in your harbor management area. So
Right.
things that happen in the river, things that happen in.
It gives us some say over our harbor for our town of Marlborough, which
Yes.
extends out into the river a certain distance,
1,500 feet.
1,500 feet,
So-
okay. So this gives us some more control over that.
At least a chance to comment, yes.
So the other thing is that now we took the grants to make it a state park, obviously. When we bought years ago, correct?
Yeah, 10
Correct me
years
if I'm wrong. Okay, so we don't have that much control over things because we have certain things that we have to stick to because we were a state park. And we can't do everything we want to, like you're saying, we can do
Well,
whatever.
I think
It's
what
the
she's-
same as
I
Cool
think-
Chance Park.
Yeah,
Right.
I think as, if I'm understanding the way she's explaining it, is if there is an issue that's on the river that's driven either state or federally, then we actually have a seat at the table with a
Yes,
harbor plan.
yes,
That-
it gives you
that's
more
what
of a
she's
chance
saying.
to have.
We have
but
to see at the table as well as grant, it's not any control, like you said, control.
It's a step.
Unfortunately, it's hard to control the state.
Okay, I just want to make it clear, I mean, that's what. it's
But,
not-
but again,
Yes.
these are really requirements of the Department of State, who are the people that gave us the grant money to do
Yes.
this work.
Yes. Correct.
So
I understand.
we're fulfilling that
Yeah, this
requirement.
is effectively the enabling legislation
Right.
for these plans.
Right.
so.
The real heart and the meat of what we're doing here is in your LWRP plan and your master plan update. And really,
Yes.
to me, the LWRP document describes what we really need to be working towards in the future.
Right.
Right.
A couple other questions I have for everybody.
Sure.
You know, we got money that we were supposedly getting for I don't know how long, and we paid out money for things. We have the line items from Mr. Larkin. Have we gotten that yet?
Could we pay attention to this, because then
There she go. When she
during the
finishes.
report, it's, I talk about.
Okay,
when
whatever
we
you-
talk
now-
about the train station grant.
Whatever you want.
No, I'm just saying that we're gonna talk about the grant like we usually do every meeting.
Right. I'm done.
All right.
Also, we did receive a Greenway grant for the comprehensive update, which was
Yes.
$7,450.
Right.
And I just administrated that for that money.
So I want to say something, because we're getting like grants, money, this money, 400, what? I don't know if everybody understands out there what this is really trying to do here. You know, we're trying to accomplish something that's been going on for many years, right? We've got a park down there, Sands Avenue and Milton Landing, that we did receive $1 million in grant money to have. And everybody always asks me, well, what are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? Well, you got this, what are you gonna do with it? This is what we're gonna do with it. We're finally gonna probably do something with it.
Finish
right?
it.
We're trying to make it a destination spot that will actually hopefully bring in tourism to the town further than we currently have. It's a great spot down there, but it's gonna cost, let's be honest, millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. And at this point, we do not have as a town. But what we're trying to do, and I'm gonna give these, you know, Howard and Alan have been really putting a lot into this, trying to get these grants. So the taxpayer doesn't have to pay for it. Is there gonna be matching? Absolutely, Ed. But,
And the other thing that we have
but
to,
if you don't get the half of it, or 80% of it, then we have to do 100% of it.
I'm not trying
Either
to,
we gotta actually do something, or we just let it sit there and rot.
it's not what I'm
And my
saying.
thing is, I wanna do something, and I would hope we could get these grants and we get them quick and we get this stuff done.
But I think as part of the plan, which we don't bring into the plan, is the cost of maintaining the parks, is the cost of patrolling the parks. All that's a cost, and that's a fixed cost. That's not going away. And once you have more people down there, more things going on, you need more people to take care of the park, and you definitely need more patrol cars. I mean, I'm sure the police chief will tell you alone. You're gonna need that down there too.
Well,
And these are things that have to be put into what the cost is down the road.
we,
These are all things that
Ed.
all towns have to do that actually grow.
we just,
I don't want to grow.
we just approved a couple of months ago for Mr. Zambito to do everything in a park maintenance program. So, I mean, that's part of it when, you know, we don't have grass down there now, but we just planted grass, so now he can mow.
Yep.
So we have that pretty much covered in the budget.
This year.
And the other key thing that Allison said, I think, is the reason we did this LWRP, went after this grants to do this work, is so that state agencies like the Department of State say, okay, you've updated your master plan, you've done this LWRP program, project, study. It looks like you guys are serious about this, so now you start doing implementation grants, going after that. We're in a better position because we have done the LWRP, updated our master plan. That was the whole reason we went after this money to begin with. So we'd be in a better light
Howard,
by the state agencies to go forward on some of these
Howard,
implementation plans.
I totally understand what you're saying. All I want to do is make sure that everybody understands there's a cost to everything. Nothing comes
No,
for free. Grants don't come for free. These things, they don't
I
just come out and
totally-
give you money. And I think the public needs to know that it's not just them giving us $150,000, and we may have to put $100,000.
Yeah, of course, yes.
And I don't think a lot of people know that, and I just want to make sure they do know that.
Well,
And I do want it to expand.
different grants, so the member item grants, there's no match.
Right,
You
when you
get
get-
250,000, you get 250,000 from the SAM or for the dormitory, and that's what we're shooting with the sidewalks.
Well, I'm very
And the
proud of
$150,000 from Mr. Larkin is also a member item grant.
you. We haven't gotten that yet, right? Thank you.
There's a lot of things, let's just for the public's knowledge.
I like to
There's a
know
lot of
everything.
things- There's a lot of things that this board,
Well, we
we're trying
announce
to
it.
move forward on a lot of different initiatives.
And you're doing a good job.
Sidewalks, parks, piers.
Thank you.
I mean, there's a lot of things
Trails.
going on right now, and it seems like nothing's happening,
But
but
everything's
there's a
happening.
lot of things happening.
We're laying a lot of
And
groundwork.
we don't want to get that we went 80%, and then we said, you know what? We can't spend that extra $10,000 now because.
I don't think I'd ever stop anything for $10,000.
No, I'm just saying, we want to go 100%, and either we get it or we don't get it, but we're going to have to go all in to do this. And yes, it's going to cost some
And
money.
I totally agree with you,
Right?
but I want to make sure that we know what the costs are going to be before we do
Of
it.
course, we all want to know.
Okay.
But we all know it's going to cost a couple $1 million to do this. Now, we're going to try to get at least half of that or more than that if we can. But if we have to, you know, I'll say it right now, I'm for one to go out and we get the money, and we have to bond for the money, I'm good with that too. Because I want to get this thing accomplished, I want to get it done. We have a vision, I think we have a great vision, let's get it done. Let's stop beating around the bush. Let's get it done.
Whoa, who's beating around the bush?
No, I'm just saying, over many years,
Scott's right.
we've got to a point and then we
disagreeing with
stop.
you.
He's right.
Let's get it
I'm
done.
not disagreeing with anybody, I just want to make sure everything's out there. I like, open government, like we said all the time. So the
Absolutely.
cost is not just grants, and people see grant, oh,
Yeah.
there's granting us this money. You know that, but the public doesn't know that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the public's involved, though, because you have the Marlborough EDC,
It's a small group.
down here. It's a small group, but it's business owners that have a lot of
Correct.
a lot of feel of the general public and the taxpayer. You've got the Milton groups, you've got the town of Marlborough as a whole group. All right, we're all going after these grants because we're making an investment into our communities to make our communities better, to make our communities more appealing. So that's the direction we're all going. And Scott's right. We don't just want to talk about it. We have to get it done. So, and that's the direction we're going. And look, yeah, these are matching grants, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather have somebody pay 80% of my lunch than me pay the 100%.
It's usually 50% as long as I've been here.
Well, it
No,
depends,
certain
different
grants
grants.
are
Yeah,
28,
but
15,
there's a lot of 50 ones we
85, 15. Allison, so, thank you. Any questions? Any more questions for Allison?
No.
Board?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for being brief.
And I will send the report to you tomorrow.
Say hi to John.
Regards to John, hope everything's all right. I don't know. Okay. We good for, to go to reports, Colleen? Supervisor's report for June 2017. Met with the Ulster County Economic Director Susan Holt, Councilman Baker, and Rosemary Wine. Met with participants in the Milton Landing Dog Park at Sands Avenue site that's coming along, looking for funds to finish that up. Met with County Executive Mike Hine, met with Councilman Corcoran and Robert Pollitt to discuss signage. Met with Highway Superintendent Gail Appler and Deputy Highway Superintendent John Alonji to discuss the Hamlet Sidewalk Grant. Went to Ulster County Supervisors Meeting Workshop on shared services in Kingston. Met with Central Hudson Representative Lisa Carver and Highway Superintendent Gail Appler to discuss replacement of utility poles. Met with the Marlborough Economic Development Focus Group for the local waterfront revitalization plan. Attended a ceremony at the Marlborough Firehouse for the grant they received for Senator Larkin. That was $150,000. And Mr. Larkin was there. Mr. Larkin's 89 years old, still sharp as a tack. Great man, Bill. Marched and spoke at the annual Memorial Day Parade. Met with New York State Economic Development Representative Megan Taylor, Councilman Baker, Rosemary Wine, Planner John Behem, and Ulster County Economic Director Susan Holt to discuss the state's CFA process. Respectfully, Supervisor Lanzetta. Busy. Mr. Corcoran. Mr. Corcoran didn't have a very good month.
Personally. Building Inspector's Monthly Report, May 2017. Certificate of Occupancies 4, Request for Information 11, Building Extensions 2, Fire Inspections 20, Stop Work Orders 1, Order to Remedy 26, Complaints 41, Burn Permits Issued 43, Building Permits 33, 1 electrical, 3 furnaces, 3 tank installation, 4 pools, 4 sheds, 7 additions, 7 decks, 1 wireless communication tower, 1 mobile home, 1 carport, 1 solar panel. Estimated cost of building, $523,034. Total monthly receipts, certificate of occupancy, 600, request for information, 1,100. Building extensions, 200. Building permits, $4,887.50. Fire inspection fees, $1,240, for the total monthly receipt, $8,027.50. Total miles, 1,281. Total gas usage, 96 gallons.
Tom, I meant that because a lot of people seem to be building without permits these days.
Yeah, that happens. Next report will have more than 1 stop work order on it.
Okay.
So, yeah. People need to know that the town doesn't require building permits to be bad guys. You know, we're not here to hit you hard with building permit fees, which if you look around in other towns, other counties, we're on the lower end of the fee schedule. And that's because we care about the residents. But overall, building permits and building construction on your site really voids out your insurance. I mean, if you do construction on your property and something happens, the first thing that the insurance companies do is look not to pay. And they start with my office, and the call is, where is the building permit for that shed? Where's the building permit for that renovation of that basement? And if it's not there, then your $300,000, $400,000 insurance policy of that house that just burnt down because you did a renovation in your basement and you had an electrical fire voids your insurance, so you have zero. So, you know, we don't do this to be the bad guy, and I end up being the bad guy most of the time, and that's okay under the code enforcement hat. But, you know, we do this to protect you. So when I'm on site, I'm there to protect you. When you have a building contractor and I'm there and he didn't do your pool gate correctly and you feel like I'm busting your chops because it's 46.5 inches and not 48, it's not for any other reason but to protect you in the end, because that's who I work for. I don't work for the contractor. I don't care about the contractor that much, but I'm working for you as my resident. So that's what I'm here for. Questions, anytime. Inspections of your house, anytime. Walkthroughs of the house for things you want to do, anytime. So that's what we're here for. But again, there's been a lot of building construction without permits, and that's what Al's alluding to. There's been a couple fights lately in my office. So.
Is that the 41 complaints?
Yeah, 41 complaints. I mean, they constantly climb, and then the complaints, you know, the order to remedy, you can see the difference is that if I get 41 complaints and I only have to write 26 people up, the other, 25 people have come to terms with what we're talking about.
Yep.
So the question we have, do you want to switch jobs with Gail? Or?
That's all right. Gail gets yelled at all the time also, so I'm not saying I take all the heat, because I know he does also, but, well,
So Tommy, I want to publicly thank you, and I haven't seen them, but I know you told me you put up signs, and you had some help putting up some signs regarding our state champions.
yeah, we discussed that last year, and it took actually it's a year to date. This past weekend was the state championships again for the girls softball, boys baseball championships. If anybody doesn't know, last year we did win the state championships in girls softball and boys baseball, which was unheard of to win in the same year. But very difficult task, and we were talking about putting those signs up on the entrance of town. Welcome to Marlborough, home of the state champions. And we finally got them up this weekend. Mr. Russo at Russo Fuel and Joey Russo were very nice enough to allow us to put it on his property, which is a nice spot where you come into town, because the original spot that Mr. Woodward and Mr. Coupard own that have the Meet Me in Marlborough and the Lions Club sign on it, is kind of congested, and I don't want to put too much, there. Right. So Mr. Russo was very nice to do that. And up to Absolutely Automotive and AKV Auto, they have the other sign on the entrance on the south side of town. So here are the two signs on the 9W corridor that enter. They came out very nice, and we got them up this weekend finally after a year.
Thanks for doing that, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay.
Looks good.
All right.
Any questions for Tom?
Nope.
Thank you, Tom.
You got it.
Police Department, Town of Marlborough, Chief Kokoza, motor vehicle accidents. May 17th, 4 personal injury, 21 year-to-date. Fatalities, thank God, 0 and 0. Property damage, 11, year-to-date 67. Report not required, 3, year-to-date 14, for a total of 18, and 102 year-to-date. Summons is issued, 189 vehicle and traffic. Parking tickets, none. Year-to-date 715 summons is issued. 15 parking tickets issued in this last date. Complaint activity, total blotter entries 353, 1,652 year-to-date, 39 total arrests, 162 year-to-date, telephone calls 1,703, 8699 year-to-date. There's an attachment for the full-time police officers. Part-time dispatchers had 2 hours of $43, total is $56. Police mileage, 14,089 miles, 58,801 year-to-date. Any questions for him?
Thanks for reading that, Ed. Appreciate it. Mr. Superintendent.
It's okay.
How you doing, Gail? Very good, thank you.
Report for May 2017. Roads on 5-1, we worked with Reclamation to mill down Main Street, Milton, by 1.5 inch. On 5-2 and 5-3, we completed this with our planer and jackhammer around all the catch basins and sewer rises to complete this for final paving. On 5-3, we worked with Reclamation to reclaim Ridge Road and Penny Lane. They did an injection of foamed emulsion oil to stabilize the road base in preparation for repaving. On 5-10, we worked with Peckham on repaving Main Street. On 5-11 and 5-12, we repaved Penny Lane and Ridge Road. We did blacktop repairs on driveways off Ridge Road as needed. For the week of 5/15th and 19th, we sealed road cracks on Old Indian Road and Mount Zion Road. We removed 40 foot of rotted galvanized pipe on Peach Lane and replaced with 12-inch PVC. We did road patrols to clean catch basins and pipe ends and also straightened out many signs throughout the town. On drainage on 5-4, we removed and replaced 40 foot of 12-inch PVC and 2 catch basins in the entrance of Penny Lane. On 5-8, we replaced 100 foot of 12-inch galvanized pipe in front of Barrel Coal Storage and Ridge Road. On 5-9, we installed 165 foot of 8-inch perforated PVC pipe in 1 catch basin alongside of Ridge Road. And we replaced 40 foot of 24-inch rod-end galvanized pipe with PVC on Highland Ave. Landfill, we cleaned out the catch basin in the parking lot at the landfill and found the pipe rotted and plugged. We pulled this out and replaced it with 65 foot of 24-inch galvanized pipe. And for the parade on 5/24, we mowed the parade route. On 5/26, we did a litter patrol of parade route, picking up 12 bags of litter. For the Memorial Day parade, we put out and picked up the cones to close off the side roads, and we also did a final litter pickup before the parade. Fuel usage, gas, 370.9 gallons, diesel, 1,231.5.
Thank you, Gail. Any questions for
Anything
Gail?
else?
I just wanted to thank Gail again for doing the landfill work and also for, I think you went back up there and did the driveway going in? Mm-hmm. Okay. And there was the fireman had a cocktail party last night, and somebody was praising you for the roads that are such great shape now compared to 20 or 30 years ago, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, good, thank you.
Yep.
That's
Thank you.
all your money and my work, that's all. All
All
right.
right, taxpayers.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks, Gil. Thanks, Gil.
Thank you, Gail. Mr. Maggio, Water Superintendent. Good evening.
A monthly report for May. Water consumption totals 14.4 million gallons, which is a daily usage of 465,000. Compared to last month, we had only 12.6 million gallons, which is a daily usage of 423,000. Compared to a year ago, our water consumption was 14.7 million gallons, which is a daily usage of 475,000 a day. Summary for the month, we finished flushing hydrants. We repaired hydrants on North Road and Sherman Drive. Valves, we had to adjust valve risers, sewer risers, curb-back risers on North Road, Main Street, Ridge Road for paving. We also had to repair our pressure reducing valves on Orchard Street and Walnut tank. Storage tanks, we inspected and flushed and maintained and tested water in our storage tanks. Billings, bills went out for the second billing. Also was enclosed was our 2016 water quality report. If there's any questions with anything, feel free to give us a call, and we will gladly help you with any of your water problems. Service line inspections, we had 1, closings 8, markouts, we had 35, gallons of gas used, 240, gallons of diesel, 5 gallons, and the mileage was 1,700 miles.
And right now, we're going through a little pain with the new software, with the VAS.
We just had a little introduction on it. So far, it seems to be very handy, and it will all work out.
Once you get used to it, basically.
Well, there's some
user-friendly?
information that wasn't transferred properly, so that's what we're going over. There's about 1,500 customers, so myself and my help, we've been looking at every customer, making sure that they're all going to be in our journal. So hopefully by the next billing, which is in October, we should be okay.
Is BAS helping you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're
yeah.
very efficient. Once we call them,
Yeah, they're
Good.
they answer you within minutes.
Charlie, I'd also like you for helping out in the situation in my neighborhood. We're no longer underwater. Thank you very much.
What happened?
He finally found out there was a broken pipe, that's why everything was flooding all over the
Okay.
place, and he took care of it.
Okay. Colleen? How are you this evening?
Town clerk monthly report for May, conservation 11, 2193. Dog licenses 25 for a total of 135. Tow licenses 2 for a total of 416.64. Water services 1 for $150. Transfer station permits 3 for $185. Punch cards 35 for $1,600. Marriage licenses 5 for $87.50. Building department fees, 1 for $7,359.50. Fire fees, 1 for $2,725. Camp fees, 9 for $2,717. Zumba, 1 for $155. Accident reports, 9 for $45. Alarm permits, 1 for $20. Certified copies, 5 for $180. Dog warden fees, 1 for $242.70. Junkyard licenses, 1 for $250. Park fees, 6 for $1,550. Jiu-jitsu, 2 for $175, for a grand total of $18,015.27.
To date, how are we doing with the landfill? Are we,
I did a survey, I think last month, and let you guys know, I think it was down $1,600 from last year, something like that. So it is low, but,
Yeah.
you know, we do get complaints because of the increase. We just explained to them that, you know, our fees went up, so we have to unfortunately pass it on, but, yeah, it's been dropped.
Is the park still slow as far as reserves?
Well, August is slow. The whole month of June and July has picked up, but August is open.
So this
June
year-
is totally full. July is most, I think we have 2 dates open in July, but August is still open, which is unusual, because usually we were booked up
Through the
by then.
summer.
Yeah, we're usually booked up. So August is the only month we really have openings. June, we have absolutely none, and July, we have 1 or 2.
You're talking about Saturday, Sunday, or?
Saturdays and Sundays. Well, actually, we also have some
Weekdays?
bookings during the midweek. Yeah, we have the Bridge Authority and Sonotech. So we do have people that do book during the week, but August so far is our slowest month, which is unusual. So-
Colleen, who gets the junkyard license?
Excuse me?
Who gets the junkyard license? Is that?
that's my,
There's what, 7 junkyard licenses?
This is just a renewal?
There's
We're not opening any new junkyards, this is a
No,
renewal?
Oh, no, there hasn't been.
Actually, one dropped out last year. One junkyard didn't pay last year, so we no longer have that person in our system.
Okay.
But, yeah, and most of them aren't even running. There's 2 that don't even have any.
It'd be a planning board application, right now, it's 10-acre minimum,
Yeah,
and that's with the planning board process after they got through the New York State.
right, so this is just a renewal. Yeah.
So there's nothing.
He inspects them before I issue the licenses every year, so.
how many junkyards do we have in Marlborough?
Like 6, I think.
Officially?
Yeah. Well, there was 7, but that one just dropped out.
6 we know about.
That's a good one.
I don't know if we want to discuss this, Alan, but, you know, Al, we had this, since Colleen's up, we had this issue with somebody falling this today on the front door. We talked about that before. Are we going to follow up with a request to the school district to look into that in terms of improving the entrance in some official way? I mean, when I was there this afternoon, they mentioned something about having their engineering firm look at it. So maybe we ought to follow up and make sure they do that.
Talked to Patrick as soon as that happened, that incident,
Okay.
and said, you know, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really out of hand
It's not the first time, it's
It's
like
not
the
the
fourth
first
or
time,
fifth.
it's not gonna be the last time, and
Somebody fell
Mrs.
on it.
Cosman was sent to the
Because the
hospital last
steps are
time it
so-
happened, and
Yeah,
I
it's the
had to
half
tend
step.
to her. I had to get her ice bags, I had to wipe off her blood, and console her, so.
So I'm following through, I'll
Yeah.
talk to superintendent
Okay.
tomorrow and just follow through with him. See how we could,
It's very upsetting.
A little step towards you.
just a little step, it's not ADA compliant,
Nope.
it's, it's pretty tough.
It's upsetting.
You can't change it to come up from the police department, because if you're a senior, who's gonna, I barely make it up.
You're a senior.
Shape.
You can't do that. And I don't know if you could change it that you have to, you go through the police and get the elevator, come up, but then there's other stairs too.
Yeah.
And they turn the elevator off.
Logistics. is-
Well, you got the other side entrance though, between the town offices and Tommy's office. You have that little side
Yeah,
entrance
that
there.
might be,
It's
So,
a possibility, but that would be a temporary, I would think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll address that tomorrow morning. Thank you, Colleen.
Yes, you're welcome.
So, report from Tony Falco, report of the Marlborough wastewater treatment plant for May 2017. The average flow to the plant was 117,000 gallons per day. This was an average dry month and about 67% of design capacity. We are having some issues with our flow meter at the plant. These figures may be biased low. We are working with an instrument specialist to resolve flow meter problems. The process is working well, meeting Speedy's requirements. Lab results show that we removed 99% of BOD and 99% of suspended solids during the month. That's for Marlborough. Milton Water Plant, wastewater treatment plant, the average flow of the Milton plant during May 2017 was 32,000 gallons per day. This is about 58% of design capacity. 55,000 gallons is the capacity per day. We showed 99% of BOD and TSS removal. I do not know what TSS is. The process is working well,
Total
meeting
suspended
Speedy's
solids.
requirements. Excuse me? Al?
I think it's total suspended solids.
Okay.
He initializes to the end.
Overall, both wastewater treatment plants are in good working order. To save money on sludge trucking costs, we have been researching the purchase of Velope sludge dewatering process for the plant, getting information from Veneer and Larios, as well as Walkill and Rhinebeck State that have purchased this equipment. We have submitted 3 competitive costs for a new lawn mower for the plant. We'll need approval for purchasing a mower from Tractor Supply in Highland, who has the lowest price. If you need any additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me. So, basically, his lawnmower is pretty shot.
Why did they take the one from the park?
I think Tom wants to buy that for $100.
We have two sit-down mowers like that.
Do we?
Do we, Tom? Do we have other mowers?
We have two sit-down ones.
The number of mowers we have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a rider that runs, another one that doesn't run anymore. So it's a 60-inch rider, and we have a 48-inch, two 48-inch walk-behind mowers.
How-
And we have a 21-inch walk-behind mower.
How old is the rider?
How old is the rider? It's a Toro Commercial Z. Be honest with you, I don't know.
That's okay. Do we use it?
20 years, 15, 20 years?
Do you use it?
What's
Not right now, I don't.
Okay.
what's wrong with it, Tom?
What's wrong with the
What's the one? What's wrong with the other one?
The other one, the transmission gave up. It's got a bunch of iron filings in it. It's a snapper rider it's roughly a little bit over 30 years old. Just wore out.
Okay.
Well,
I've been told that you don't want to fix it.
Yeah,
okay.
I understand.
We'll look at the riding mower to replace whatever Tony has. If it's workable, that save us, even though he has it in his budget, but it will save us money when it's there, so it makes common sense to use it.
The Toro Z is workable.
Okay? I'll let him know.
If we ever have to go back there, we'll
Right.
get there when we get there, right?
Right.
And Tom will get it.
Right. Town of Marlborough Dog Control. Received a total of 11 calls this month, including 5 calls to service from Marlborough PD, State Police, and Ulster County Sheriff. We responded to 2 active complaints and/or cases which are now closed or resolved. We currently have 2 open cases that have been addressed but are ongoing or unresolved. We impounded 1 stray dog. The dog was redeemed by the owner. 0 appearance tickets were issued this month. We currently have 0 dogs in the kennel. We had 0 dog bites reported this month. We have 2 cases in the Marlborough Justice Court at this time. I want to note that we have been receiving a growing number of calls relating to wild animals and cats. Okay. Wild animals, cats. Thank you.
There was a bear on Sands Avenue.
Raccoons, woodchucks, deer.
And we have a memo from the assessor's office from Cindy Hilbert. Our office processed 17 real property transfers. Grievance day was held on Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017. The Board of Assessment Review heard 45 cases. They are finishing up their deliberations and will have everything completed by the end of the month. The town's final assessment roll will be held on or around July 1st, 2017. And I guess Matt's on his honeymoon, so we don't have a report on how the reval is going.
Does that sound right, Ralph? 45? Is that normal? Normal.
And I did receive an email from Chris Brand informing that he didn't have a report, but he said in light of the fact that the planning board met only once in May due to the Memorial Day holiday, I will be sending you my monthly report to coincide with the first meeting in July. This will better sync the monthly report to provide a more accurate record of each actual calendar month. And that was respectfully yours, Chris Brown.
Great.
Chris who?
Chris Brown?
I thought you said Brown.
Mr. Brown. Okay, that kind of ends up the reports.
All right.
By the way, Al, very good job getting all the reports on.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're batting 100 on that. Report of committee, Recreation Committee. Vin, do you want to say a little something about the concerts? Come right up. I'm so excited about this.
Good evening. So, the town asked me to take over the concerts in the park after whoever was on it before didn't want to do it anymore. So in the last 2 weeks, I just did my best to throw together some really good shows, and that's what they're going to be. They're going to be really good shows.
So could you tell us what the lineup is?
Yeah, well, that's next.
It's all going to be country western, right?
We have country western on week 3, just for you, Howard. And anybody else who wants to bring their cowboy hat and their boots. On the 21st, yeah, so on the 21st, we'll go a little out of order. We have Hillbilly Parade and Jason Casterlin. On the 7th, we have Last Place, which is a local band with opening up for Fred Zeppelin. On the 14th, this is the one I'm most looking forward to, is going to be the debut of a band named Boy Genius. And they're opening for a band called La Special, which is a national act. And we're gonna bring in some really funky lights and lasers and projectors for that one too. So
That's exciting.
that one's gonna be really pretty wild. Some people might just leave. It might be too much for them, but I think it's gonna be awesome. And then on the last day we have Dan Brother, and I'm opening that one myself, and any of my friends that want to jump up on stage are welcome to on that one too. So
Great.
that's what we have, and I had a couple other ideas, and I don't know if it's ever been done in the past. If you guys ever sold vendor space or anything like that to try and recoup some of the town, some of the cost of the event, have donations, and maybe even if we can get together quick enough, we can sell some vendor space or something, maybe we can return a portion of the budget back to the town.
That would be something we'd be interested in, right?
Yeah, you could work something out, that'd be definitely something
Yeah.
we'd be interested in looking into.
Or, you know, you save it for next year and you do bigger or more or something, you know, but either way. So that's the idea, in the process of trying to make up a flyer for it. Anybody who wants to spread the word, there'll be, you know, we're gonna advertise on Facebook and Instagram mostly, so just share away, tell people to come out. And it's gonna be really good. We're gonna start it a little later. Coach's Dogs is gonna be selling food. And bring your blankets and your coolers and your chairs and get ready to rock out.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Vinny, thank you for taking it over, appreciate it. Last minute.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Al, emergency management preparedness?
No
Committee?
updates.
I could say the Conservation Advisory Committee is going to meet Wednesday. The board has give direction to them to look into design standards, so we'll be doing that. We'll be looking at the Ulster County Dennis Doyle's design standards. And we'll move forward and create our own for our own.
Where is that meeting?
It's usually at the library.
Okay.
We meet at 7:30.
Okay.
The Marlborough Library, right?
Yeah, it's open to the public, so
Yep.
anybody can come. IT committee, well, hopefully we got our video.
Recording, hopefully this is recording properly. Still going, right, Alan?
Still going. All right.
Yeah, we had a little issue, but I think we got it fixed thanks to Joel, so we'll see tomorrow morning. But no, we had nothing else, Howard, that we have on our radar. We got all our big things out of the way. The BAS is just the biggie that's coming in now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Plus, we have, the chief didn't know, we have the 2 cameras for the train station.
still upstairs.
They're upstairs.
I see it.
And a transfer station at some point.
Transfer station, train station, we got all our computers updated, so just in time for them to say now they want Windows 10, so. We have to update them all again, but that's what happens.
And so Milton Train Station Foundation, getting back to Ed's question before, when I first was elected, we went to see Senator Larkin. He was gracious enough to, after that meeting, we expressed that we'd like to finish the train station. As you know, the train station, through many hours of volunteer work, the inside's all completed. The only thing left is the outside, the exterior, and we approached Mr. Larkin and for $150-some thousand to do the outside. It has lead paint. So he came through and we filled out all the forms, everything that was needed. Now we're waiting for DASNY, which is the dormitory from the New York State Department, to say, okay, you could go ahead with the bid package and start budgeting and bring, send in your request for payments. We haven't received that yet. So and it's been like very frustrating because it's been like 14 months now. We were told it would be anywhere between 6 months and a year, but it's been long. And we've contacted Senator Larkin, and he's been trying to help us out, but so far, I'm hoping any day we'll get that money so we could complete this great project.
And you also asked for help from the state, right?
Yeah.
Getting money out of the state's like pulling teeth, so it's not that easy.
The Milton Landing Citizens Committee.
If anyone's been down there, you'll notice that there's a little bit of caution tape. We had somebody come in and spread the topsoil and actually do some rock raking to the north end. Grass was planted by the committee members, and we ordered 4 days of rain, and we got it right in a row, so it watered it good. So that's coming along good. And then I guess, we're heading into the CFA rounds, as it looks.
Yep.
For the grants, and Rosemary's in the audience. I want to thank her for the many updates I get from her and the work that she puts into the landing. She really puts a lot of hard work into that, so thank you, Rosemary.
So Alan, how much topsoil? Did you get all the topsoil you're looking for, or I haven't
that
been
was-
there.
No,
We
we
had-
purchased it.
We purchased that. That was for the
Down-
landing itself.
Okay, yeah.
Because we had to do the shoreline restoration.
Yeah,
So the
okay.
machine came in and ripped up what we had planted.
That's down by the landing,
Yeah, it's
okay.
down on the water, right
Okay.
on the water.
Still waiting for the topsoil up top, right?
Yeah, JP's, it's day to day. As soon as we get the call, it's coming.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank Dave Zambito for responding. We
Yeah.
met him and he did it the
That was
next
it.
day.
Yeah, he was out there the next day, so it was good.
Okay.
That's that.
The Marlborough Hamlet Economic Development Committee. Like I talked about it last time, Dave Corrigan from the Department of State, as you know, the Economic Development Committee would like to do a gateway. And the gateway, as you're heading north, it would come down that hill by Old Post Road and the Midi Mall there. And so there would be a sign there, "Welcome to Marlborough." And then after that, you have the St. Mary's parking lot that looks kind of shabby. And what we want to do is we're proposing, and it's in one of our plans that B&L did, was to put a stone wall fence there. And it would coincide with in front of Mr. Russ, the lawyer's building there, so you would have a nice flow of stone wall. Anyhow, we have to do a site plan, and Brooks & Brooks did a lot of work already, pro bono, and so I asked her for the site plan, and she talked to Dave Corrigan from the DOT, and she gave me a bid of $1,500 to do that. So I don't know what the board's desire is. I'd like to hire Brooks & Brooks to do that site plan. So this way we could move forward and go ahead with the building of that stone wall.
I would like to make that motion if you're asking for a motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Let's get it done.
We good?
Yeah, I'm reading.
Okay. Didn't hear you. Okay. Now,
Along those lines, Al, I don't know if you were going to mention it, but we did get that $5,000 grant, Greenway grant, to start some level of planning for the Latin Creek Trail that we want to
Yep.
extend from Falcon down to the river.
myself, Rosemary, and Matt were at the Greenway.
Yep.
We thanked the Greenway, and they're very supportive of that trail.
Thank you, Rosemary Wine. Thank you very, very much.
Just to clarify too, that $1,500 is a requirement by the DOT, right?
Yes.
So we can't do the work unless we do this plan. So if we want our town to look nicer, we gotta do
Yep.
certain things required.
And actually, Patty did a lot of work, field work out there already, so it's pretty reasonable, that amount. Meet me in Marlborough. I haven't heard too much. I think
I saw Judy last
Judy
night.
Clark.
Yeah, didn't mention anything. They're still working on those pictures that they wanted to hang, but
They're getting close to
we're waiting for that, I guess.
Yeah.
They're getting close to opening up the
The plaque that they talked about, I think they want. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, tell you the truth, when they're gonna start the farmer's market. I haven't heard from Sheila or anything.
I haven't heard anything this year.
June?
June 24th?
Yeah,
Normally, if
2
someone
weeks.
comes in and she sends an email, she hasn't sent one this year, so.
Okay, 24th?
Yep. Hamilton Milton Association Committee, Alan?
Nothing directly from them. I did see a lot of them yesterday, and the flowers are growing, the plants look
Yeah.
good, so
Looks good.
stop down and see them. Yep.
Thank you. Howard Transfer Station Review Committee?
Transfer station, we talked about two items that Gail took care of for us, and then the request from Walt to do a little sprucing up, some painting and so forth. So his request is for some materials, which probably is less than $200, and then some time for them to do the painting.
Yeah, we saw the.
Yeah, we saw
Okay.
the.
If everybody's
As long as
okay
you're
with that?
careful up there, I don't
Yeah, okay.
fall off a roof.
I'll tell Walt to go ahead with that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
That's it.
Old business, sale of the Tomvac building. I haven't heard anything.
Sold.
You pocket the money. Okay. I haven't heard anything about renewing the contract. I think we leave it the way it is.
With the Realtor?
Actually, let me call him tomorrow. I think it's actually due, it's July.
Yeah, we're supposed to be, yeah, we're,
So, I mean, normally he'll call me again
Okay.
and say, hey, I'm gonna fax to the supervisor. But, yeah, let me give him a call.
Okay.
He's been kind of quiet, just, I still can't believe it, but whatever.
Okay.
It is what it is.
It
Takes
is
a
what it
while.
is. Municipal parking is always a problem in Marlborough and Milton. I think we're working on the one for Milton. Marlborough's a little tougher.
It's a lot tougher.
Yeah. So we've been trying. We have it on old business to just to, I guess, to punish
Remind us.
ourselves.
Yeah.
It's really not too much we could do. In Milton, I think there's a lot of things going on with Mr. Pollock. Milton Sewer Extension, 9W Milton Turnpike intersection. I just got a email from Dennis saying on June 26th, he'll have a resolution for us to go out to bid. So that's all
So
good
that'll be
news.
for the RFPs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Wow.
Thank God.
That only took about 3 years. Oh, a long time.
Took a while.
Yep.
Bayside project,
Speaking of taking a while.
we have the FEIS that's on stairs in my office. Anybody?
I read through it twice already.
Talked to Ron Blass once. I expressed to him that I would like to see this on a fast track, and actually Ron sent the email today, and I'll forward it to the board. It's pretty
So it's in
straightforward.
our court to review their FEIS?
Yes.
Through Ron?
Yes.
Okay.
And through
Pat?
Pat Hines.
Yep.
And also from our traffic study.
I'm more curious to see what Pat says than anybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll have that in front of the board at next meeting.
Good.
To approve it, and then it goes to the planning board.
Okay.
Yep.
So, just to make clear, if that comes in front of the town board,
We're lead agency.
where lead agency, is that a public hearing type thing?
No.
So we have to give
We already
notice?
did the
No, we already had it because
had that
back in
already.
the day, you did the draft EIS, and
And this
yeah,
was
did
an
it.
update to it?
This is now the update because remember we met
Yeah, we
with
did
Mike and the school superintendent, added all that stuff with
Yep.
parking,
Yep.
All right.
all good stuff.
I just want to make sure that
You get the
from a
sense
public
that,
perspective, they understand we did do that.
Right.
And this is the follow-up to all those meetings we had, right?
Yeah.
So,
and you get the sense that they're moving forward on their end. So obviously, they sent us the FEIS, but they're serious. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We already covered the next one.
Design standards, I talked about the CAC was gonna do that. Milton Train Station, I talked about the grant. LWRP, CFA grant application for the town of Morrow, planning, Behan Planning. So maybe we should talk about that now.
Okay.
And would you like to
So,
talk about who we met? in
yeah, I mean,
open discussion?
so as you saw before, we have been working with Behan Planning for not quite a year on doing this local waterfront revitalization planning work. And out of that work, he sort of prioritized projects that we should continue to focus on and move to the next stage. And of course, it was pretty obvious to anybody that the projects that we should go forward on are the ones related to the Milton Landing, Milton Park, and the Milton Pier. And so the idea is to go for funding through the consolidated funding application process, which opened up a little bit ago and goes until July, end of July. That's the window you have to apply for grants. John Behan, our consultant, suggested that we meet with the director of the Mid-Hudson Economic Development Council. Her name is Megan Taylor, and she has an office in New Windsor. We did that a week or so ago. And what we were after there was just some advice and counsel from her as to how we should proceed on going after these grants, and also to make them aware of this, which we feel is a significant project in the Milton Hamlet that could be broader than just an impact to Marlborough and Milton, but probably to the whole southern Ulster region. So anyway, John took them through all the plans regarding the upgrades to the park and to the Milton Pier, and she gave us some feedback on how she thought we should go after some grant money. One of them was this Upstate Revitalization Initiative pile of money. That's about $50 million. That is sort of separate from the CFA process in that it doesn't have this window of application time. So the suggestion was describe the entire project that you want to do for the Milton Landing, Park, and Pier all in this one grant application, and then ask for, in that grant, money to do the Milton Pier, and then ask for other grant money through the CFA process to address the Milton Landing and the Milton Park through Parks and Recreation and the Department of State, who are the people that funded this initial LWRP work. So, okay, so that's the recommendation. John has given us, John Behan Planning has given us a estimate of grants. His estimate for writing grants, it would be approximately 3 different grants, about $3,500 for each, so a grand total of $10.5K to go after these grants. And I think most of us feel that, as we discussed prior, we have gone this far with Milton in terms of the train station, the Milton Sands Avenue Park, the Milton Landing. Let's take the next step and see if we can't get some significant dollars through these grant processes. And it will take matching money, we all know that, but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't go after this grant money. So that's what the recommendation is, I think, from the folks that went to that meeting. And the meeting was attended by myself and Al, Rosemary Wine, and Susan Holt from Ulster County Economic Development, and we were presenting to Megan Taylor, who was the director of the Mid-Hudson Economic Development Council. So anyway, what's on the table now is to go forward with money to provide to John Behan, not to exceed $10.5K to write these grants. So,
A quick question, Howard.
Yep.
I should have asked this before, but can he include in his grant his dollar amount for writing the grants? You know what I mean? Can he include his grant writing fee inside the grant? He can't do that. Okay. Just a question, because some grants allow you to do that.
Yeah.
On the FEMA side.
And I was, and the amounts that he suggested, I know, Alan, maybe they can be changed as well, because you know more about the available matching things that you already have in plan and already for some of the park implementation projects. So maybe the dollar amounts he's suggesting could be whittled down to some extent. But go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, I just talking to Al about it, but the money's going to come from where?
The money would come from, well, here's his suggestion. The Milton Pier is a significant project, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rosemary, but this Upstate Revitalization Initiative program, he thinks we should go after the Milton Pier construction, which is $1.1 million, something like that, 1.1 million?
I think Ed was.
No, I was asking where we're getting the 10,500 from.
10,500.
I know it's not in the budget, that's what
Yeah.
His budget.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a question for the supervisor.
Well, we
deal
can
with
tell,
it, but I wanted to hear, you know.
there's a discretionary fund if the board wishes.
Yeah.
That has 50,000.
I'm just saying, if I'm going to vote on something, I want to know where the money's coming from, that's all.
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
Yeah. So the answer is out of the discretionary fund.
I'd like to take it out of discretionary fund rather than fund balance myself.
Yeah, I'd rather do
I
that
would
too.
make that motion if someone wants to second it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen. Route 9W corridor study. It's an interesting meeting we had. Thought they presented a great bunch of detail in their PowerPoint. Dennis Doyle was there. Brian did most of the talking. Had formed groups. People went to that, and I think it was pretty interesting. People talked about the nonconformity of the 9W corridor, how you have 4 lanes, 2 lanes, 1 lane, speed limits, and talked about where the most accidents were. Could you guess where the most accidents were in 9W? Right out here,
Where the traffic light
by
is.
the traffic light.
I knew that.
You knew that. I know
I
you
knew that too, because I hear them every time from where I work.
You're right.
That's right.
Yeah, you witnessed it.
I see a lot of them.
So,
They don't like to put lights, right?
so, yeah, and there was a lot, they did Suzanne, who was hired by the consultant who won the award, she did 90 interviews talking about people, what they, about the 9W corridor, and so it was very interesting study. So you probably give more detail.
Well, the purpose of the meeting, last was Thursday held, and Alan was there, myself, Al, and the consultant and Ulster County Transportation Council who funded this grant, and the purpose of the meeting was to gather public input regarding the Route 9W corridor from the Marlborough Hamlet all the way up to Blue Point Road in Highland. And they broke they asked each group 5 different categories, I think: safety, aesthetics, bicycle paths, 2 other categories I don't remember, and got their feedback on that. So it was just a way of getting input from the public about the Route 9W corridor, in addition to this survey they did. They talked to 90 people in the hamlets of Marlborough, Milton, and Highland, actually. And then they also have a survey, online survey, which you should go to our town website, and I think the information about that online survey, it's what do they call that? Monkey survey?
Yeah,
The monkey away.
The monkey survey?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the monkey survey
Right.
is on our website. There's actually 2 surveys. One that the high school kids did, that was in regards to when John Behan and myself went to the high school and was talking about this whole LWRP, and so they came up with this monkey survey. And it's been broadcast. It's on the school website, what you like about the town of Marlborough, what you don't like, and it's pretty interesting. You could imagine the one concern is taxes. So, it's hard to, what are you going to, the whole point is this board is very diligent in keeping our budget where we don't increase the taxes at town of Marlborough. We have no control. I keep on telling people this, but they seem not to believe me. But we have no control over the school taxes. We absolutely do not.
Well, the only control we have is to try to revitalize our hamlets, and like we're trying to do, and raise the tax base. That's the only thing we can try to do, I think.
So we're
That's what
very
we're trying to do.
diligent about watching the taxpayers' money on our side. And we've been, for the last few years, these guys, and now myself, have been keeping it like 2%. And less, right. And, it's pretty unfair that the state really punishes the towns in this sort of way, And they come up with these unfunded mandates and stuff like that, so. But we try our best, and we've been doing a great job and trying to get businesses in. Like our friend John DeMarco says, we got a $10 million problem. The problem comes from the 2 power plants. So we're trying to do our best to every little bit of economic development, Chestnut Petroleum, small businesses that are coming here, this gentleman that's coming here. So all that adds up. Doesn't quite make up that 10 million, but we're getting, every little bit helps, as my ma used to say.
The other thing, and I think too, with the Bayside project and businesses I've talked to, the concentration of, in the hamlets of more people closer.
Yep.
When businesses look, that's what they're looking for.
Yep.
You know, more rooftops closer
Yep.
to the businesses, so I think that'll help
Density.
too. Yep,
Yep.
yep.
So on the Route 9W corridor study, so in addition to these public forums, they've had focus groups to get their feedback and input as well. They're going to take all this information, plus other traffic studies they're doing, and come back, I think, in November, have another public meeting and present their findings and their recommendations. And that should be,
Then the state's gonna do it, right?
Yeah, the state's gonna open up
yeah,
the wallet.
hopefully, you know, we've heard that the DOT is going to repave 9W in this area next year, and if there are any things that come out of our study that we can feedback to DOT about, squash down the number of lanes and improvements. Hopefully, it'll help the planning process with access management, curb cuts, and all that kind of stuff, which they'll kind of come up with recommendations regarding those as well. We'll have to see. I mean, that's what these people do. That's what they're traffic engineers, so let's see what they come up with. But we got lots of studies. Now we need to start implementing some of this stuff.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to correspondence.
Well, let's do new business. I'd like to
Oh,
remove.
new business,
Let's
yeah.
remove that item because it's been taken care of.
Yep, I jumped ahead of the gun.
That's right. I want to like to remove A
Yeah.
under new business.
Yeah, new business, what it's referring to is the
Do not
site
want to
plan
go to
work
business,
from the property of Route 9W for the gateway.
Which we already approved.
We already approved that.
So let's just remove that.
Yep.
Thank you. Any
And
second?
you want to make a motion?
I make a motion to remove site plan work for property Route 9W.
Second.
Gateway across from St. Mary's, $1,500.
Yep.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, correspondence. So I would like to read something from my good friends. In June 1969, the fight for dignity and equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT people was ignited not far from here during the Stonewall riots in New York City. The now decades-long LGBTQ civil rights movement has made many strides towards civil and legal equality. Yet, LGBT people still face discrimination in schools, the workplace, faith communities, and the larger society. LGBT people deserve to know their fellow citizens respect them and stand with them in their fight for equality. To honor those LGBT individuals who have contributed much to our local community here in Marlborough, and to honor those working for more inclusive communities elsewhere, I hereby proclaim June 2017 LGBT Pride Month in the town of Marlborough. And I would like to thank Tim, Rob, and Mike and for all you do in this community. And if there's anything this board can do to make anything better for you, please let us know. We're in full support of these guys and all members of the LGBT. And thank you very much.
Can we make that a yearly?
We can.
I would say, I would make a motion to make that a yearly.
Does it happen every? Yep. Okay.
Okay, I'll second that, Scott.
I would, yeah, I mean, I have family members in this community that are part of this, and I would be honored to make a motion to make this a yearly day.
All right, I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Would you like to say anything, Tim, or would you like to come up and say?
Commend the board because, to our knowledge, you are the only town in Ulster County to make this proclamation. So for that,
Thank you. Coming to the board. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. So from Colleen, Town of Marlborough Local Law 5, 2017 is filed on May 17, 2017. So that's with the State of New York, Department of State. Thank you, Colleen. Town of Marlborough Police Department. I've been a police officer with the Town of Marlborough since April of 1991. I want to thank all for the opportunity to serve this community in that capacity. During that time, I have educated and trained myself to become the department's weapons training officer, firearms and taser, and armorer for the department's weapons, handguns, rifles, shotguns, and tasers. Additionally, my credentials as professional engineer specialist and traffic engineer has assisted the department with regard to traffic flow and control concerns in several motor vehicle accidents reconstructions. I have also served as a court officer for some 25 years. Effective June 29, 2017, I'm retiring from the New York State DOT. Since the New York State DOT and police retirement systems are different, I must consolidate the two into the New York State DOT retirement. This must be completed by June 22nd, 2017. Consequently, I'm proposing my resignation for the Town of Marlborough Police Department effective June 22, 2017. I would like to be reinstated on June 27, 2017 as a police officer, non-retirement status. I will need a letter and/or resolution to confirm such an action. I'm anxiously awaiting your thoughts and/or your decisions. Please do not hesitate to contact me, and that's James Rapoli. I think we have
We have the resolution.
Yes.
Which caught me by surprise, because I said, wait a minute.
We've done this 2 or 3 times already.
Yeah, that's all right, though. I got it, I understand.
We got it now?
Okay.
Got it now.
I got it. And also, I had a request from Tom Schroeder, expressing an interest in the Park Snapper mower. It says the muffler's rusted away, creating a lower back pressure on the engine valve. It's in bad shape. The mower's over 30 years old. Tom is requesting that he buy it for $50 to $100. He's asking the board's approval, or I have no problem with this.
I don't either. We saw space there. We saw it. We inspected it.
Well, I you know,
$50,
$50
it's yours.
is yours.
$50. I'd give it to you if we could. I make the motion that we sell the lawnmower to Tom for $50.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. I so moved. Thank you, Tom.
Can I just follow up on one thing? Colleen, can we make sure that we add that day to the calendar?
Yeah, I have.
And that it's on there, on
And I'll take
on
your
our
letter.
website?
Yeah.
At all times, so that it comes up every year? Make sure Danielle,
Put it on the
Yeah, and
website.
actually, we'll put this on the
Yeah,
website.
I'll have the letter and.
she could
put
loop
it
that
on
so
there.
it'll come back on every year.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
So I got a request from John Catone. I know John, good guy. He's on the Board of Education.
Yeah.
Just newly elected.
So he has the Cub Scout Pack 73. They want to use the Cool Chance Park, starting at 9 o'clock, ending approximately 5 p.m. Saturday afternoon. If the soccer field become available, we could use them as well. I'm writing you this letter to request a waiver of $300 residential fee. Everything's cool with that, Colleen? Huh?
Yes.
What about bocce?
They don't play on Saturday.
They say you don't have Saturday.
Is it this Saturday, you say?
We don't have
No,
any rain
it's
out there.
June the 25th.
The what?
June the 25th.
Oh, okay.
That's right, no more rain out.
If anybody hasn't been up to see the
When
court,
is the 10-year parade?
The county parade.
The county parade?
That is the last Saturday of July, which is the 29th.
Okay.
Is that here?
It's in Milton, yeah.
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 Cool.
Big deal. Big
That's the
deal.
second time we've done it.
So I need a motion to waive that $300?
So moved.
I'll make
So-
that motion.
So, second?
Second.
Second it.
So moved.
Howard did it.
Howard, you want it? Go ahead, Howard.
Yeah, I got it. It's my grandson. We'll
That's
do
it,
it.
you gotta do it, Howard, then.
Okay, done with correspondence, public comments, any public comments? James?
Public comment. Step on up.
Good evening.
Good evening. James Garofalo, I'd just like to make a few comments. One, dealing with the Route 9W corridor study. The other location that has a lot of accidents is at Young Avenue. So it just goes to show you that you put in traffic lights and they don't necessarily reduce the number of accidents. They can in some cases, but they can also cause accidents. So you have to be careful where you put in traffic signals. The second thing is, you talked about confusion about the awards and the grants and stuff. Maybe you should think about putting up on the website a simple page where you have the name of the grant, simple description, who's giving the money, which is very important to give them a little PR, how much it is, what the match is,
I'll
and
take a
then
stab at that. I'll take a stab at that.
and what the status is.
Yeah,
Okay?
we already have something like that, but I need to, yeah.
Click on the grant, it shows up. But anyway, yeah, that would be good.
I think that would be helpful.
It's on Al's whiteboard.
I don't know as if the police chief got a copy of that 3x2 accident map, but maybe he'd like to have a nice one from BFJ. And the last thing is, with regard to Bayside, seeker does allow you to have a public hearing if you do want to have one for the FEIS, which kind of makes sense in this particular case because the project has substantially changed, and they really, in the DIS, did not even discuss what they're doing in the FEIS. It's certainly optional, but it's something that you and the planning board should talk about and think about. Certainly, the original project, there was a lot of controversy from the people on Purdy, and you know, they may want to have an opportunity to come out and see what it is and comment on it. I would hope that they're going to like the new one better than the old one, but it's possible they may not be familiar, and this would give them a chance to see it and find out about it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, James.
I would say that, James, if anybody wanted to look at that big binder that I received from Mazer and Mazer, they're more than welcome to come in the office and look at it. If they want to sign one out and look at it, it's all, you know, public knowledge.
It's a lot, but it's there.
With regard to that, I certainly would recommend that you have them put it up on the website and in chapters that are small enough that someone can look at.
Yeah, there's a lot. Okay, thank you. I think you recommended that once before.
Yes, you did. Did we get an online version of that?
I haven't received
to
it,
be
but I'm
electronic.
sure there is.
I mean,
You
had
know,
to create it.
PDF files and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You had to create it.
I'm sure they save every part of that document electronically, so
Sure.
if we didn't get it, we could probably get it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I put that up like that. I think that's a good example of when the planning board meets and when there's a
Exactly.
public hearing, people could actually see what's going on instead of, you know,
We ought to require it.
yeah.
Right.
And it's required. I mean, we asked for that. We asked for this.
So, yeah, we could,
Okay. Let's go, resolution time. Yes, Tam, could you come up? Please.
As Tim Lawton again, as Supervisor Lanzetta knows, we started a program at the library called Movies That Matter. We've been running it. We're going into our 5th program this month. The movie this month is Denial. It is the story of acclaimed writer and historian Deborah Lipstadt, who has to battle Daniel Irving, a Holocaust denier, in court. He sues her for slander, I think it is, and it's about the court case. That'll be on June 30th at Milton Library at 7 p.m. We open the doors about 6:30.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, and I've been going to those. They're very,
Do we have them on our website?
they're very entertaining, they're very educational.
Are they on our website so that people-
No, I think
Might not
we
be-
kind of separate things.
Facebook.
But maybe a Facebook. Do you have a Facebook, Dave?
It's on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Okay.
And it's also,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
It's on Facebook.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for doing that, by the way. It's on
yeah,
the
the library website.
And you'll be Rosemary Wine? Okay. Could I make a comment? Yeah, absolutely. Come on up, Tom.
You want them over for 25 now?
Tom Schroeder. I'm with the American Legion in town. We'd like to publicly thank the board for allowing us to use the town park yesterday. And what we did is we burned 250 flags from the town which we collected, which were the old, worn, torn, tattered flags. And we invited 35 veterans from the Montrose VA facility who were housed there to come and visit with us that day, and they helped us with the burning, and the Boy Scouts helped us as well. And then we followed that up with a nice picnic and sharing, and it gave us a great opportunity to reach out to these other veterans. We'd like to publicly thank the board for allowing us to use the town park yesterday.
Thank you.
Tom, thank you for your service.
Yep. Thank you.
So, Resolution 64, to reappoint part-time police officer Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following. Now, therefore, be resolved that James Ripoli be reappointed as part-time police officer effective June 12, 2017, and it moves for its adoption. Colleen?
Councilman Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Koenig?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
So, Resolution 65 is, this resolution is to support the Hudson River Sloop Clearwater. As you know, it's sailing to Washington, D.C. to maintain clean water and other environmental protections. And it's a lengthy resolution, but basically that's what it's all about. It's going down, and with this resolution, Marlborough, is heard, and we sign it. So this way we support it. We support the Clearwater. With that said, Colleen?
Councilman Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Koenig?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta?
Yes. Thank you. So, Resolution 66 is to appoint camp employees for the 2017 summer camp, and there's a long list here. If anybody's interested, everything's on the website. I could tell you Margaret DeBella, in full disclosure, is my daughter's mother-in-law.
Had to think about that for a
And
while.
she's on here, so I'm going to recluse myself because of that.
That's done.
You don't gotta.
Yeah, I just,
You
these
should.
guys are going to pass it, so come on. We had to add Emily Beck to that as.
Where is she gonna be under?
She's going to be under the,
She's the health director?
she's going to, summer camp, so she's, yeah,
Should be a senior counselor?
Senior counsel?
yeah.
What's her name? Emily Beck?
Emily Beck.
Okay. Councilman Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Koenig?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yep.
You abstain.
I'm going to recuse myself.
Okay.
To appoint part-time dispatcher Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following, whereas the recommendation of the Police Committee as well as the Chief of Police to appoint Christine Jahowski as part-time police dispatcher, and therefore be it resolved that Christine Jahowski be appointed effective immediately.
To give you some history on her, she was a dispatcher with us for 5 years. She had some family issues where she had to cut back her part-time job, and then she came back to us now.
So she's
got
trained.
5 years experience, so
Good.
there'll be no training involved.
Very good.
Okay?
Councilman Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Koenig?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 68, this is a commitment to the sidewalk replacement project for 2018. Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following, whereas the town of Marlborough has been awarded a state municipal facilities program, SAM grant in the amount of $250,000 for sidewalk replacement and construction in the hamlet of Marlborough and Milton. And whereas the town board has consulted with the town highway superintendent and a scope of work has been identified. And whereas additional funds of $30,000 over the SAM grant will be necessary to complete the project, be it resolved that the town of Marlborough will commit to the additional funds necessary in the highway department line of the 2018 budget, and that the sidewalk replacement and construction will be part of the work plan for 2018.
Councilman Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli?
Yes, thanks, Gil.
Councilman Koenig?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scartatos, right?
Yeah. And Resolution 69 is to support Ulster County Municipal Consolidation and Efficiency Competition Application. This is a competitive thing that the Ulster County is hoping to get some monies for. We've been meeting and looking for how we could use municipal consultation as far as maybe software, maybe buying trucks. So they're looking at all this stuff, and they're going to put a grant in for that and see how we make out. So hopefully we'll get some money out of that. The county will, and this is to support it. There's a resolution to support that. Colleen?
Councilman Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Koenig?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta?
Yes. Here we go. Resolution number 70, to accept bid for 2008 Dodge Durango. Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following. Whereas all bids were open and read aloud on June 7, 2017, and whereas the following bids were received. Charles Hoffman, $3,600. Chicago Motors, $907. Absolute Automotive, $1,001. Whereas the highest bidder was Charles Hoffman, 1138 Silver Road, Guilderland, New York, 12084. Be resolved that Charles Hoffman be rewarded the bid in the amount of $3,600. And I talked to Ed, and he's fine with this.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Councilman Koenig? Councilman Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Koenig?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta?
Yes. Resolution 71, this is what we added to the agenda. Secret determination for the Marlborough Milton Sidewalk Reconstruction, Project SAM 8388, whereas the town of Marlborough has prepared a short EAF for the proposed construction and reconstruction of sidewalks along Town Road in the hamlet of Marlborough and Milton, and whereas the town has declared itself lead agency, and whereas no significant adverse environmental impact has been identified, be it resolved that the town board declares a negative impact on the seeker for this project and moves for its adoption.
Councilman Corcoran?
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli?
Yes.
Councilman Koenig?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta?
Yes.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute,
the
James,
meeting.
James,
Oh,
James,
God, I
come
think I got
on,
it first. I'm gonna.
Gotta be quick.
Can we change
Yeah,
it to
I changed that. I'm sorry. I was corrected. 71. Thank you, James.
Yeah.
Now you can
I make a resolution to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it. 72.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
What time is it?
Thank you.